Thanks for checking out this movie review video. This is for the 2025 release Other, and yes, it is all caps on the word Other. It's a Shudder original, and it's coming to Shudder on Friday, October 17th, so this is a no spoiler review. Now, some people are going to be very familiar with one particular film that director David Moreau, who did this film, has done, and I believe it hit Shudder last year. It is called Mads. It was that infamous foreign language film that was done all in one take, or appeared to be done all in one take. That was very divisive. Some people really loved it. Some people really hated it. I didn't love it that much, but I think this film could end up being kind of similar in being a bit divisive. So anyway, in addition to doing Mads, which was that film from last year, Moreau did The I and Them. I did see Them. I liked that movie quite a bit. That was the one that The Strangers was basically a remake of, which Them is better than The Strangers movies, I'm just going to say. This film was written by Moreau as well as Jon Goldman, who was involved with The Extraordinary Journey of the Fakir. I have not seen that. It was shot in French. Oh my gosh. It was shot in France and Belgium, but it is in English. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. Again, Shudder original coming Friday, October 17th. So, synopsis. There isn't a ton of depth to the actual regular story itself. It's about where things end up going and kind of the ride that you're taken on and the atmosphere and the feeling of what's going on and kind of like this mystery. But it's about a woman whose mother ends up passing away, so she has to go to the house to kind of take care of things. And it's obvious that she has a lot of complicated history with her mother and with the house and her childhood and everything like that. So that ends up playing a little bit of a role for her being back there. But then there's also something weird at play going on. And you get a taste of that in the opening sequence that's before the title card. And it is compelling. It is definitely compelling to keep you interested to see what's going to happen here. So going to my notes, the scene before the title feels off in a few ways. Now, it feels off in the sense of things feel kind of uncomfortable, like what's going on, it's kind of weird. But it also feels off in like the tone of the film, and you're kind of like trying to get your bearings, like what is the feel we're going for here? And part of that is because of the like the atmosphere that's built, but then later on in the film, you end up feeling kind of off and weird because of the dialogue. But I'll talk a little bit more about that as I get to the note. The next sequence of events are kind of creepy and you have no idea what's actually going on, which is great. I love those types of things early on in the film where it kind of sinks its hooks into you and it's like, here's something that's a little bit cryptic. It's got great atmosphere to it. It's kind of tense and it makes you wonder like, what is happening? Like I have to stick with this film just to know in the end, what was I seeing here? Like what was behind all of this? So I like that they did that. Right out of the gate, the dialogue is very over the top and not at all realistic. Now, I have a theory on why that is. So, the lead actress is delivering her lines in English, and it's obviously not her native tongue, which is fine. And she does a really good job. Like, it feels very natural. It's coming out the way it should. Now, where the dialogue starts to feel very off to me is other people that she is interacting with in the film. They sound like they were all dubbed. Like it sounds like old school bad English dubbing on foreign films. So like think Giallo films that are all in English and it's like that type of dubbing is what it seems like. Like usually those performances are just kind of like goofy and over the top and ridiculous. That's what it's like. Except for the lead actress, who is actually doing her own lines. Everyone else, it just feels like it was dubbed over by an English actor, and it didn't go very well. So that's part of why it has this kind of odd, off, weird feel to it. And it enhances the film a little bit in a weird way for me, and I wasn't expecting that. But it kind of works, but it also kind of doesn't work at the same time. That's going to be a divisive aspect of it, I think, with people. Character interactions are very weird. Sometimes it's like they're not even talking in a conversation. They're just kind of talking at each other. It's like something that someone has to say, but they're not actually planning on engaging the other person in any sort of actual dialogue. They're just like, I'm just going to say this thing at you and then I'm done. And I'm not listening to you either. So very weird how that's presented. And obviously that whole like dubbing over aspect of it doesn't really help either. The score is pretty interesting. I really like the score. The composition of it's great. It's not overused too much. And it really does fit the film really well. It helps with the atmosphere. It helps with the tension a lot. And I just think in general, one of my favorite things about it is that score. Um, I do dig the camera work as well. The camera work, the shot selections, it's very smooth movements. It looks great. There's some really cool moments where they're focusing on things that you wouldn't necessarily assume they're going to focus on when you're seeing shot selection. And it looks good. It looks very artistic. You know, this says like French sensibilities when it comes to filmmaking with how it's shot. So really love the score. Really like the way it's shot. Those are probably my two top things about this film. Also, the atmosphere. Like there is a lot of tension to it. It has a great creepy atmosphere throughout the film. Which was my next note. There's great atmosphere, which drives some solid tension. Literally said it. They do end up employing something that's very tired and cliche that ends up kind of like upping the ante on some stuff with the film. And I always hate this thing when it gets employed in films. It is so overused. It just makes me roll my eyes. That it's not that way for everyone. It's just kind of, that's a me thing. But yeah, I hated when that was introduced. It's later on in the film. There's some cool sound design in this as well. So score, really good. Cinematography, really good. And sound design, really good. So a lot of technical things going really well with this film. There's one particular thing that will make people squirm. Yes, it is practical effects driven. I do not recall any CGI looking anything in this film, but I will also say that there is not a ton of viscera and gore to the film. So if you're looking for that, just know that there's not a lot of it, but what you do get is pretty gnarly looking and practical. So those are pluses in my opinion. I did think that the ending is straight up bad. So it's one of those things where you're kind of like, oh, I'm so interested to know what's going on. I'm so engaged. I really hope there's a great payoff. And I thought it was just like, it was a flop at the end. And I was just like, really? This is how you're going to end this film? Really? It also, like, where they chose to stop it, I was just like, I feel like you should do something else after that to kind of like go a little bit further, maybe explain a little bit more instead of just being like, hey, look at this and now drop it. And I was like, oh gosh, come on, man. So not a good payoff in my opinion, which makes it feel like kind of a letdown. But that said, overall, I had a positive experience with this film. I liked this more than Mads. And even with all its flaws, there's a lot of really great stuff, which I already talked about. So out of 5 stars, half stars in play, I'm going to give it a solid enough 3-star rating. I liked it enough. I didn't like love it or anything. So 3 stars feels appropriate to me. But this is where I'd like to get your opinion on the film. Go ahead and put it down in the comments and we can talk spoilers. That's totally cool. Do me a quick favor, hit subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up on the video to help with that YouTube algorithm. Notification bell button if you want to know when I'm putting up new videos. And if you want to pitch in a little bit, just a few dollars a month to help me out with what I'm doing here, there's a link in the description for memberships to the channel. There are perks for each of the levels, and I think it's pretty solid. But check it out. Regardless, thank you for your time watching this, and until next time, keep it brutal.